Hey guys, this is Jacques from MakuluLinux and welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to address two things. One, we're going to show off some new changes with the desktop conky clock, and two, the actual beta release that's going out in probably the next few days, maybe a week tops, to the supporters of the project. So first, let's address some of the changes, especially with the clock. So as you all know, we run a desktop conky clock here on the desktop. It's very simple, but the time and date. You've got some system information, you've got some top running processes with CPU and memory usage. And below that you've got like a little news feed that sends you some updates about anything important, right? So this clock by default is set to white. You can access the options for this clock either by right clicking on the desktop and choosing desktop clock. That's usually how we've accessed it in the past, but now I've also put a shortcut to it in the settings manager, so you can access it now via the settings manager as well. That is new. And a third option is via the little widget in the side panel. So as you can see there, if you hover your mouse over the little widget, it will say click here to configure the desktop clock. Okay, so you've got three ways to access the desktop clock. Now let's click on this little widget and you're going to see a GUI pops up. But before we do that, let's just roll that up. I just want to remove these desktop icons here for demonstration purposes. So let's just turn all of these off. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to the GUI here, and I'm going to just bring that all the way down. So by default you've got a clock on the right hand side, and it's white in color. Now the old GUI could change the color of the clock, the same as the new GUI. As you can see, we've overhauled the GUI. You can change it from black to white and white to black, obviously. Of course, if you have a dark wallpaper, then a white clock will look nice on that. And if you have a very light wallpaper, you might not, the white might look faded on that, and so you would change it to a black clock. And if you select black, it will change instantly. It just takes a second or so to refresh, and now you have a black clock. You can just set it easily back to white as well again. And you can access this GUI just straight from the side panel, or just right clicking on the desktop, or of course in the settings manager you can just open the clock there, clock GUI. So you've got three different routes to open it. Okay, so changing it from white to black is quite easy. You just select the color scheme there, set clock color, choose white or black, and it will change accordingly. Of course, if it's black and you choose black, it will stay black. Okay, you choose white, it'll go back to white. Okay, very easy. These are just buttons. Okay, set the clock format, 12 or 24 hours. As you can see, it's currently on 24 hours, so it shows 8:45, 2048. But if you set it to 12 hours, it will then show 8:08:48. Okay, so you can set it from 12 to 24. That was added in some of the newer builds in Core, but some of the guys running the very older builds won't have that option yet. The very new option, the option I just added today, was the setting the position of the clock. Now this is something that's been requested multiple times, and I had it on my to-do list. I just had other stuff that I needed to finish first, but I got around to it, and so now we've added the option to move the clock either left or right. By default it's on the right hand side of the screen, but you can just click left and the clock moves over to the left hand side, and that is why I disabled those desktop icons. I guess some guys just don't prefer not to have desktop icons, or they prefer to put them somewhere else on their desktop, and they prefer having their clock on the left hand side, so now we at least give that option. You can move it to the left, or you can just simply move it back to the right. You can move it to the left and then change it to black, or change it to white and move it to the right again. So yeah, you can play with the settings. So yeah, nice, just 6 little options, but wow, what a difference they make. So really awesome. We've really expanded on the clock options. 2 more options. We've got the enable disable clock. I'm not going to run it now, but you would run this to disable the clock completely, meaning that it's disabled even after reboots. It will stay disabled. It will not come back until you enable it again. So there's a nice on-off switch for the desktop clock, and it does carry through reboots. So if you turn it off and you reboot, the clock will not come back. If you turn it back on and you reboot, the clock will come back. Okay, it does if you disable or enable, it does relog the system. That's why I don't want to run it right now. But yeah, enable, disable clock. It's a very simple thing to understand. Refresh clock. Now this will just simply, if you click it, it will simply just refresh the clock. It will also exit the GUI. Now I'm trying to think of a scenario where this would be effective. I can think of two. One, multiple monitors. Some guys running multiple monitors, the clock kind of veers off where it's supposed to be, off the layout, and it might be a little bit off sync. Or when you're running in something like a virtual machine or a smaller monitor with a smaller resolution, but then you install your drivers or change the resolution, you make it bigger, and this clock would be off-centered, kind of be over here somewhere, and it just wouldn't sit right on the screen when you resize resolutions. This is a common problem with Conky and XFCE and Linux and so certain drivers. So it's not uncommon for Conky to do that kind of thing. If you boot up with a smaller resolution, but then you switch to a bigger resolution, and if that happens, if the clock is off center or with multiple monitors, whatever the case might be, you can just open it and just click refresh clock. It will refresh the clock and it will put it back in the corner where it's supposed to be, on the left or the right, wherever you had it last, wherever it's supposed to be. It will just put it nicely back in the corner there, refresh the script, and that's it. So very nice. So you've got some nice options. You can set the colors, you can set the format, and you can position the clock left or right. You can also refresh it. That basically just turns Conky off and on instantly, kind of thing. And you can disable or enable it, and that runs through reboots. So very nice, very simple, very straightforward, but some really nice additions that weren't there before, and these were requested. The colors I added, but then the format was requested, the position was requested, the refresh script for refreshing the clock was requested, and the enable and disable clock was requested. So all of these functions were requested at some point in time, which is nice because I do look at requests when people ask me, can you add this and can you do this, and I kind of look at it and then I see, is it worthwhile doing it? It's more than one person asking for it. Is it something I would use? These questions go through my head, and if it checks the right boxes, I put it on my to-do list, and then I obviously go and look at how to achieve it, and then I implement it. So the new core has a lot more functionality for the desktop clock. No more just plain clock in the corner that you can't really do much with. You can now move it around your desktop, change the colors, change the format, refresh it if you need be, enable or disable it, all from one GUI. Very, very nice. Okay, so I'm just going to turn those little icons back on again. Home, mounted drives, network, trash. I keep those on. Okay. As you can see, the wallpaper background changer also got all these extra options that weren't there before. Many of these options were not there, especially in the older core builds. So yeah, so there's a lot of new stuff in core. I don't want to go through them all now. Today was mainly about the clock. I will say though that the 3D options really run beautifully with the Conky clock and the workspace switcher. I mean, they just run so nice, and the new border themes just look really, really stunning. Anyway, so I'll play with Conky while I talk about the next topic, and that's the actual release of this beta ISO to supporters of the project. So I'm just going to flip through the. As you can see, when I flip through it, it actually like leaves a little preview there, but it also does the whole sort of like a virtual 3D. Nice, Okay, let's open a home there. So now I can just scroll my mouse with, I hover the mouse over the workspace switcher and I just flip through it with my middle mouse button, or I can click the actual workspaces, and it will flip through 3D. Looks very pretty, especially with that semi-transparent with the very dark black buttons on the top. It really complements the theme. Some of the older core builds ran Thunar. We now use Nemo. It just works better with the theming. Just the layout complements the system much better, so it looks pretty, really pretty, really pretty. And it's pretty snappy, man. This is on a virtual machine. I'll show you running inside a virtual machine, as you can see here. So yeah, let me just look that exclusive mode again. So I'm running inside a virtual machine, and this is snappy as hell. I mean, you're not going to get faster than this anywhere in the world. So core's running nice. Something I want to discuss now is the actual beta build, the reason we're releasing this, and how it works. Okay, so 2020 has been a really bad year for the project. It's been a good year in terms of development because I've had a lot more time to actually work on the project. But in terms of finances, it's been a terrible year, a terrible year. I've only had like 1.5 salaries this year, literally, and so I don't want to moan about my finances, but I do need to sort of discuss why we're doing the beta release. And the project really isn't doing well financially, and I've sort of over time figured out that Linux people are probably of the most greedy I've ever encountered. So I've met some nice people, but in general, people always moan about open source and Microsoft's evil because they want money for software that should be free and blah blah blah. We all know that argument. I've had that argument. However, when you make something for free and you release it, and you work on a project that is donation based, everybody downloads, but very few people donate. It's just how the world works. Everybody wants everything for free. And so I worked, geez, I don't even know how many months I worked on shift. I mean, that was many months, many hours. I did 2 different bases, 2 hybrid bases made specially for shift, compatible with the latest Ubuntu repos, the latest testing repos, moved to Python 3, complete design of a new kind of operating system that can change layouts. In fact, the Unity in Shift is probably better than the original Unity. We've got some really nice layouts. Change it with like instantly. Anyway, a lot of stuff that we've made, and after months and months of designing and 3 flavors, 2 bases, we released Shift, and we've had tens and tens and tens of thousands of downloads, 7,000 a week plus. That's just on SourceForge. That's not even the Google links, that's not even the torrent links, that's not the pCloud links or the mega links. I'm not even sure how many downloads. It's many thousands. And here we are about a month later, almost a couple of weeks later, and we've only had like about $300 come in from that. That's probably about 8-9 months of my life. Literally living 12, 14, 16 hour days, sometimes working on it, and $300, that's it. That's all I have to show for that. And this project costs money. It's becoming increasingly more expensive year on year. Each time we add a new repo, it's new boxes, it's new servers, and the tools, website, my time. So yeah, it costs monthly. This project costs money, and I'm always paying for it, which I don't mind. It's just 2020 has not been a great year, so it would have been nice for some support at least from people that I make it for. Now, there are a couple of things that I really like about Makulu, at least specifically. I enjoy designing, creating things. I love it. I could sit for hours messing around just creating things, and sometimes they take a life of their own, and I just run with it. Next thing I know, I've got this wow, stunning desktop that started out with just some stupid messing around. I love it. The second thing I really enjoy is the fact that everything's open source. So you can build on somebody else's code. That's really awesome. Really awesome. I love that. The third thing I really enjoy is when we release and I get some feedback, especially if it's positive feedback. I love that. It's always nice when people acknowledges, like nice work that you've done. So it makes me feel good when I know people out there is using something that I made and that, they really enjoy using it. It motivates me to do better, to make more. And year on year, we've been getting better. Obviously, I mean, skills get better. Feedback that comes back, I see what people like, what they don't like, things that they criticize, things that need fixing, bug fixes, and things I need to expand on, features, and so forth, so forth, so forth. And so year on year, obviously, with time and experience, I get better at this. And I think Shift is some of my best work. I really do. I think Shift is some of my best work. The new core coming out is stunning. I mean, look at this. You can see this is stunning. It doesn't get much better than this. But this is a completely different OS targeted at a much different audience than Shift. I really think Shift was something special. And I was just a little shocked that it brought in literally about $300. That's it. That's it. I try to motivate people by saying, we'll release we'll send you an early build of core. Maybe if you, donate a couple of bucks, I thought maybe that will work. And then we got a whole bunch of guys donating $1 each, I guess, to get an early beta. I think there were 3 guys that donated some cash, actual money. But apart from that, it's been non-existent. I'm just blown away with just the complete lack of support from community. And I hate talking about this because this is the part of the Linux designing or development that I really hate. All the parts I love is the creation and what comes off that. The parts I hate is having to sit here and literally bitch and moan about cash flow. I've been trying so hard to build a cash flow for the project and I'm just getting nowhere because people don't support the project. Thousands of downloads. If you go now to SourceForge, you go look at SourceForge and you search there. I mean, let's open SourceForge. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to wipe that anyway. Let's go to MakuluLinux SourceForge. If you think I'm joking, MakuluLinux SourceForge. That's this week so far. 2,707 downloads. Just this week so far, right? No, thank you. So I think weekly. I mean, there we're hitting. This is daily, right? Daily. Yeah, daily. We're hitting sometimes more than 760 downloads a day. It spikes, it goes up and down, but clearly there's hundreds and hundreds of downloads every single day. This is every single day, just about, right? Weekly we're hitting 3.5k downloads there. Monthly you can see it 12k. I mean, there's a lot of downloads. So when you look at this and you think, wow, $300, jeez. Downloads so far 35,000 from the 5th to the 8th. 35,000 people downloaded and $300 came in. That's it. So you can understand why I'm bringing this up. Now I'm not making this video to bitch, although I have to. As a developer, I really need to sort of drill the seriousness of this, because I'm kind of tired of always having to fund the project myself. So what I'm doing now, sorry. So what I'm doing now is, I'm trying to motivate you guys. So anybody that donates this month to the project, I will send you guys a early build of core. And now when I say early, I mean really early, because we're only planning to release this somewhere either beginning of November or the end of November, most likely probably somewhere in between, I'm not sure, but it's going to probably be end of October or end of November release, depending on whether it's ready or not. It's already very stable. This runs beautifully even right now. It can be used as a daily driver, but there's always room for improvement, so I'll perfect it. Whatever bugs the testers find, because I just sent the new build out to them. Whatever bugs they find, I'll sort of perfect on that and make it. Where's the themes? Let's change to a different theme here. Let's go red maybe. No, let's go with the green. Okay, there we go. Green. So so yeah, I'll perfect it between now and then. So when the public gets it, the guys that donated would already have had it for probably maybe 8 or 9 weeks. So we're going to be sending this out very soon to donators, people that have supported the project. So they'll get it probably 8 or 9 weeks before the rest of the world does. So I thought that's a nice little motivation. They can run this already, you know, and do whatever they want with it. I mean, it's fully operational. Wow, it's stunning, stunning. And you know, the other guys that don't donate, well, you know, I understand not everybody has money, and therefore not everybody can donate. So you know, they'll get it when it comes out to public, which is, you know, as it should be. So yeah, I just wanted to, I know I'm making this video very long now, but I'm also playing with old 3D, so that's nice at least. I just want to really point out to the fact that, you know, we could use a cash flow, guys. Come on, man, come on. Jeez, must I make videos and beg for it? I just don't understand. I really don't understand why I'm not getting the support, you know. It kind of creates it's not really much of a motivator for me to urgently get the next one out, you know. I'm getting to the point now, I mean, I've blown through a lot of my savings this year because, like I said, I'm in Asia. We've been on lockdown. We had a 4.5 month lockdown, and we've just been on another 2 month lockdown. So you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm literally I've had 1.5 months of salary this whole year, and so I'm getting to the point where I'm blowing through my savings, and yeah, I'm gonna have to make alternative solutions to this. You know, can't keep using my savings to pay off the project and have everybody just download. So it's a difficult situation, and yeah, I just thought I would point that out so that you guys are aware of it, and I don't have to keep bringing it up. So if you like the project, please support it if you can afford. I know not everybody can. It's been a difficult year for everybody. But I would appreciate some support so I can try and build some kind of cash flow. You know, our tools are due soon, our design tools, and that gets paid yearly, so that's a couple $100 on its own. So the money that's come in is mostly, I don't even think it covers the tools, never mind the repos and stuff every month. Anyway, that's it from me. So showing off some new features and also a lecture on our financial stuff. Nice, lovely. Anyway, to the guys that do support the project, I know there's a couple of guys on Patreon. That's nice. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. And the guys that do make like a PayPal donation, sometime over the next week, I think, probably maybe by the end of next week somewhere, I will be sending out a build. So I'm just waiting. I sent this build today to testers, so I'm going to give them a couple of days to test. They'll probably find a couple of minor things to fix, which I will then fix and then recompile, and probably at the end of next week a build will be ready to go out to all of our supporters. So yeah, if you're a supporter, you can have a lot of fun at the end of next week. If not, well, a couple of weeks later, I guess you'll just wait about 8 weeks and then you'll get your hands on this awesome build. Anyway, so that's it from me, and I'll be making some more videos all in due course, and look out for those, and I will chat to you guys soon, I guess. Cheers.